This is Dirtspawn, and welcome to Storytime with Dirt. I'm Dirtspawn, like I just said. Today we're going to be reading a story that I wrote a while ago called The Horde. It's a little graphic, a little dark. It's part of a trilogy that I wrote. Or typed out. Yeah, wrote, typed out, same thing. Yeah, let's get started. The Horde by Dirtspawn. There are a few differences from ghouls and zombies. Ghoul flesh is stronger, they are rotten, but they do not rot as fast. They can think and speak, and strangely enough have feelings but not pain. They have extreme troubles expressing all but anger. Likewise, they are not welcome in towns and are always killed. Ghouls can be weakened or strengthened, but zombies just die when they are killed. This story is about a ghoul named Dirtspawn and his friends Scum, his brother Bloodfilth, and Bloodfilth's girlfriend Metallica. A bald, beardless figure in a black robe stood on the ledge inside the cavern. He had a dagger on his left hip and shouted to his congregation of 3,000 undead, which he seemed to have raised. Subjects, I have raised you from your grave tonight for a very special purpose. You will go forth and take care of those who killed you, and you will kill the ones who ordered your deaths. Arm yourselves, and we will be avenged and rid Salks of this evil, said Lord Mittock. Half were zombies, and they were in the large rusted cages. The rest were ghouls. 2 ghouls stood at Mittock's side, Dirtspawn and Bloodfilth. They were Mittock's number ones. They were not number 1 and 2, they were both number 1. They acted together, and it was the biggest question ever on who was the better warrior. They had both swords that took the souls of those they had slain. Dirtspawn's blade was called Spirit Cage, and Bloodfilth's was Soul Hold. After Mittock spoke to his congregation, he told the 2 ghouls to go down and lead the ghouls out and free the zombies. As one they acted and jumped off the ledge that was 3 stories high. They should have felt pain if they were alive. I don't like this, Bloodfilth. The king's army will wipe us out. We must flee, as we will not survive King Archon's mightiest men. You doubt yourself too much, Dirtspawn. That is why I am the best, said Bloodfilth with pride. And your pride will be your downfall. Come, let us flee this place. Your brother, girlfriend, and I can live in some other cave for the rest of eternity, advised the ghoul. I want vengeance, Dirtspawn. You're my only friends. Come with me. No, you're on your own, said Bloodfilth. As the 2 moved through the crowd, Dirtspawn stopped and headed the other way. He came to a lit cavern with a bed and a vanity, and even a rug. He saw Metallica brushing her hair. She was beautiful for a dead woman. Her skin was a bronze green, and her hair was dark brown with waves in it. She bathed often and smelt of sage. Your boyfriend is being obstinate. That's the way he is, said Metallica, putting some dangly silver earrings in. Has Scum told you the good news? Good news? Asked Dirtspawn. Bloodfilth got me pregnant. She stared at Dirtspawn with a blank expression, yet felt so happy. That is a lie. Dirtspawn became angry. He knew undead, even vampires, couldn't have children. Their organs don't work. Don't shout at me. It's true. I know you wanted me, but Bloodfilth came first. Besides, Lord Mittock has been working on magic on her reproductive organs to build his army. I'm going to be a breeder, the first of many, she said happily. Dirtspawn was not impressed. He wanted to kill her child, but he resisted with all his might because he loved her. Metallica, said Dirtspawn, I never told you, but we are planning to leave this cave. We are not going to let you be some breeder for an undead army. It's not natural. Come with Scum and I. Dirt, nothing about us is natural. We are the rejection of the Creator. And what about Bloodfilth, huh? I can convince him to come. I know I can, but you have to come. Whatever. I'll do it, but I go where Bloodfilth goes, wherever he chooses to go. Even the crag? Even the crag, she said, standing up. Scum was fat. His skin was a pale yellow, and he was 6 feet tall. He was what some would call a neckbeard, and he dressed in black and red robes, which was frayed and raggedy. He was a builder, and carried a one-handed hammer as a weapon, ironically. He was playing with zombies with some dead rat at the size of a small dog. Scum! Stop playing with the pets and let's get out of here. Are you ready? Asked Dirtspawn. Sure am. I got my hammer and my money. Here are the robes. Scum threw a mildly sized sack at Dirtspawn, which had hooded robes. 3, one for filth, dirt, and mort. Good, let's go then. The 3 headed through the empty cavern and looked for Bloodfilth. All they had to do was look for the mob of ghouls and zombies. They caught up to the Bloodfilth, but he was ready to kill innocent folk, which Dirtspawn knew was wrong. Brother, stop right there. Come with us. Metallica is coming. Come away from this, please. I will not. Please, Bloodfilth. You're so hell-bent on vengeance, then it isn't worth it. Please listen to Dirtspawn. I love you, and I'm pregnant, shouted Metallica among the horde of ghouls. I don't give a shit about you, you useless bitch. I want to see the look on King Archon's face when he realizes I can't die, he growled in anger. Do not call her useless. She is to become a breeder, after all, stated Dirtspawn. What? The Horde didn't tell you? Said the nasty Bloodfilth. Don't call her names, warned Dirtspawn, drawing his sword. Lord Mittock had sex with her. I don't. That's his child. The 3 of you can leave. Bloodfilth took the undead onward, and Dirtspawn comforted the sobbing Metallica and asked, Is this true? She nodded with tears coming out of her bloodshot eyes. But in his severe anger, Bloodfilth became jealous, seeing Dirtspawn comfort his girlfriend. He went over and stabbed Metallica in the wound and cut out the 2-week-old child. Metallica wailed in sadness. Dirtspawn readied his sword. You could have fathered that child, shouted Dirtspawn. Not mine. Mine neither, but I would have fathered the child if you hadn't. Now your soul belongs to my blade. Then, said Dirtspawn, they began to fight. Bloodfilth swung first. He wasted no time and went straight for the head. Dirtspawn leaned back and kicked him. The ghouls made a clearing inside the crowd. They began to shout and place bets in the middle of the plains. They swung at each other and blocked their throws for half an hour. Soulhold and Spirit Cage whirled and sang a song of death. The 2 cut each other deeply, and black blood slowly oozed out of their thick skin. And finally, a blade had been stuck through one of the ghouls' carcasses. It was Dirtspawn. He had killed his friend. So it is clear. You are the better one. And then Bloodfilth's soul was absorbed into Spirit Cage, and he died. Dirtspawn took Bloodfilth's blade and hooked his harness to his other shoulder. The army continued their mission without Bloodfilth. They still had a master and a duty to perform. It began to rain. Dirtspawn, what's the plan? Asked Scum. Find a doctor, a surgeon, Dirtspawn told them. She won't heal, and she will be as weak as a zombie without her blood. The 3 headed into Valgrothi foothills. In the west they found a gnome hole and knocked on the door. There was a signpost in the ground, and the sign said, Physician. Dirt knocked on the door, and a gnome answered, with a gnomeling behind him. His wife was crocheting a shawl. Travelers, do come in. Is that blood? The gnome asked the gnome. They were wearing the robes, so the gnomes didn't recognize them. They entered, ducking in and remaining silent. You look pale. I'll stitch you up. Come and sit by the fire. Do you want some crumpets? We don't eat crumpets, said Dirtspawn. The gnome got his kit and asked, "So, travelers, what are your names?" None of them could remember their real names except for half of Metallica's. She was the only one in the room with a gravestone, but it was in pieces when she awoke. They just came up with something as not to reveal they were ghouls. Yet. "I am Daniel. This is Angelica and Michael." A cat hissed at Dirtspawn. "Go ahead, remove your hoods. Dry your wet heads." "I'm Wick. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure." He smiled. Scum whispered into Dirtspawn's ear, "Do we dare remove our hoods? He will see our skin and know we are ghouls." Dirtspawn gave the two a nod, and they removed their hoods. Wick said, "Ah, more undead. I am familiar." He grinned. "A lich came to me 13 years ago. My first daughter was only 5. Soldak was his name. I will never forget him. Such a gentleman. I have people skills, you know." He poured some tea for him and his wife. "I can tell who's bad and who is good, who wishes harm and who doesn't. I got desperation from you." "You are right, Dr. Wick. Can you stitch her up?" asked Dirtspawn. "Of course I can." He opened his kit and got out the stitching needle and thread. "And we need blood. Human blood," suggested Dirtspawn. Wick kept silent, as did the three, as he stitched Metallica's womb. He knew helping them would mean harm to others. He thought a few moments and knew they would harm someone one way or another. So he finally said elf blood would be better. The magical potency in it could actually heal you as well as strengthen you. "I appreciate your help. We appreciate your help," said the ghoul. The three dead ones sat there so still all as morning came. Then they put on their hoods and walked out. The first city they came to was destroyed by the Horde. There were corpses everywhere. Scum decided he would feast on an already half-eaten corpse, but Metallica needed elf blood, and they found one. Still alive, in fact. Metallica ate the young elf alive. His screams would strike terror in the living. "I feel rejuvenated. Try it, Dirt." She handed Dirtspawn the elf's heart to try. He took a small bite and said, "It's the most delicious thing I've ever had." "I would like to try it." "Yes, Scum, have a bite," offered Dirtspawn. Metallica smiled through her black dead lips. Scum took a large bite and said, "I feel like I could take on King Archon himself." He handed the heart back to Metallica, and the three dined on the corpse partially savage-like. They would scoop out a piece of the meat and eat it like an apple. Blood ran down their chins. They smiled as the three spent quality time together, sitting in the middle of the street. They felt emotion. It was the magic in the elf's blood. They laughed and cried and felt comfortable with each other for the first time since they were raised from the dead. When the elf's meat was depleted, they got up and decided they needed to stop the army of the undead. They decided they would need someone powerful, like a lich. Yes, Soldak. But how would they find him? Metallica uses magic, and in life she used light magic, but as an undead creature she can't anymore. She uses dark magic or shadow magic. She would need her Palantir. "Lord Mitok would kill us if he saw us back in that cave instead of leading the Horde," said Scum. "We can do it. The cave is dark. We will not be spotted, I promise you," said Dirtspawn. The two reluctantly went with Dirtspawn, and when they got to the cave, it was night time. "Go on in and get your Palantir, so we can find Soldak." Scum took out his hammer. His mind was clear and was ready to break the bald necromancer's skull if he hurt Metallica. Dirtspawn said, "No, keep watch. I will go with Metallica." He nodded, trusting Dirtspawn. Metallica and Dirtspawn seemed to be alone in her room. "I was always jealous of him," he said. Metallica sifted through her belongings, and she said, "I know. I always saw fire in your eye when you looked at him and when you stood by Mintock's side. And now blood-filth lives in my sword, he growled. Ever since we ate that elf boy, my feelings have revealed themselves to me. She stopped and began to weep. I really like you, Dirtspawn. I really like you, and I kind of can't help it. Could you hold me for a while? She asked him. Not here. Get your palantir and let's get out of here before Lord Mittock comes back. I'm back, and you two are in big trouble, said Lord Mittock. The two turned to the necromancer and was holding a Zweihander, ready to cut the heads off both of them. Just then Blood Scum came in and hit Lord Mittock in the head, knocking him out cold. Don't do it, Scum! And after Dirtspawn had said that, Blood Scum lost control and smashed Mittock's head to mush. The three stopped and choked a little and then died. The Horde had fallen and died as well, in the middle of the night raid on the town. They all just fell to the ground. Dirtspawn and Metallica's hands were almost touching as they lay there. The end. Well, I hope you enjoy the story. This was part 1 of 3 of the trilogy that I wrote. And yeah, there will be more to come. God bless.